Hello, welcome to Mowgli TV. Today in this tutorial, we're gonna go through something that I saw posted on Reddit. Someone was asking how to create an effect like the one I'm gonna show you. It was described as a backdrop, but I will call it more like a flag kind of effect. I'm gonna cover some points here that might be very handy if you try to create other kinds of effects, which how to stack effects to create different things, and also how to get a bit more involved using groups to create effects that might not be possible otherwise. Let's get into it. So here we are in Resolume. I've got this here, which is my logo, as a JPEG. I'm being lazy, so I'm leaving it as a JPEG, but if you're actually performing, I recommend that you convert your JPEG to a DXV file because you'll avoid certain problems. But anyway, you could do this very quickly. I got the inspiration from where someone was talking about actually animating this as I think it was a DJ logo or something along those lines. So first things first, you want your logo as a solid image. So it's got a background. It'll be a lot easier and it'll be a lot better overall for the effect to work as intended. So once you've got your image there, I've scaled it a bit here so that you can actually see the four corners of it and it doesn't take up the whole real estate of your screen. Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our effects and find wave warp. Just gonna drag it over here, and that's not in line with what we want, but you can see where this is heading. So the wave warp does that, it distorts your content using a wave. So this is a bit extreme. Let's tweak this a bit so you can bring everything right down. Then you can change the angle of it so it's a bit more diagonal. You can change the speed of it so it's a bit more natural and actually bring these down. Pin edges is not relevant if you actually see the four corners of what you've got. Well, it is relevant, but it's not very obvious what it's doing. But we don't want the pin edges anyway, so I'm going to take that off. You could say that's kind of done, but it's a bit clunky. I mean, what we're going to do here is not something that you could achieve in something like After Effects. It's a quick and dirty way of doing this, which is very handy as a VJ because very often you'll be asked to do things pretty much on the spot. So there's no time. You can just jump in here and do it very quickly. So once we've got the wave warp in place, what we're going to do next is find ripples. And again, drag it across. And we adjust this a bit. So let's bring down the amplitudes for vertical and horizontal. Face it a bit. Bring down the frequency a bit. All these settings that I'm tweaking are completely up to you. So it's whatever you think looks good. Subtlety tends to be the best way to achieve natural looking effects when you're trying to do something like this. So I've said this is not going to be hyper realistic by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll be good enough. And then just bring down the amplitude both. So we've got this kind of rough and ready. It's doing kind of what we want. You can always get in there once you've got all your stack on and actually fine tune everything so you get the best possible outcome. So this it's got that logo image and it's got this kind of wavy motion going on, which suggests like that, like sort of like a curtain floating in the wind or a flag, something along those lines. But the thing is, it's a bit flat. So simple way to tweak that a bit is go to your effects and look for a vignette. And again, we can adjust the size of our vignette. So we get that gradient, which makes it look a bit better. It's got a bit more of like lighting effect on it, which obviously is not actually going with the waves, but it does add something to the overall effect. So I've adjusted the settings a bit more. I've got them all open here so you can see exactly where everything is at if you want to copy it exactly as we've got it here. I've limited the width of the wave warp and I've animated the ripples phase. So it's here. So now you're getting a bit more natural. There's still quite a lot of movement, so you can always play with that, make it more subtle if you so want. But we can take this a step further. This is the original clip that I've just shown you, and I've created this group, and I've added another layer, layer 2 here on top of the original. And to this clip here, I've added lines, which is in your sources over here. Let's just see what the lines clip has on it. So you can see I've animated the position, and these are the settings, amount to with 181. Important to note that the blend mode here is set to 50 mask. Now, if we trigger that, you see what we've got. Again, it's not a hyper-realistic effect by any stretch of the imagination, but it does add quite a lot. Grouping things in this manner allows you to create effects that you wouldn't be able to recreate otherwise using a single clip. Once you've got it in a group, you can treat it as a clip, and then you can easily trigger it from its own trigger button up here. You can also collapse it so it's all together, or you can expand it and see both layers there. Again, once you've got this to this level, you can spend as long as you want tweaking all the details of everything that you've put on these two clips. So for example, if we go into our lines, you can try like playing with the rotation of the lines and maybe adjust them a bit so they're not quite vertical, give it a bit more natural feel. The width, you can actually animate that width to give it a bit more vibrancy. As I've said, you can spend as long as you want or as long as you've got tweaking this to your liking. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you've picked up some tips, not just on how to make this specific effect, which, as I said, came from someone asking on Reddit, but about the techniques that you can use to make things that are not obvious from just applying a single effect onto something and then going from there. The whole using groups and stacking different clips to create one specific effect is a very, very powerful technique. And I recommend that you experiment a lot. Go through all the effects in Resolume, put them together, see what they do when they're combined together, play with the levels of all the different parameters, animate parameters. There's so much that you can do straight from Resolume. As always, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you here next time.